Ladies and gentlemen, we all struggle with confidence at some point in our lives. It's easy to feel small, to doubt ourselves, to think we're not enough. But here's the truth: confidence is not something we are born with, it's something we build. And to build it, you need to embrace certain truths that will help you rise, no matter how many times you fall. Let me share with you the 5 key truths you need to hear to become more confident. First truth is you are worthy of confidence. It all begins with this: you are worthy of confidence. Too many of us grow up thinking that we need to earn the right to feel good about ourselves. We'll think that only when we achieve something big or when we are perfect, we'll finally be worthy of loving ourselves. But here's the truth: you don't need to earn your worth. You already have it. You are worthy of confidence simply because you exist. You are worthy of standing tall, of owning your space, of taking up room in the world. But first, you have to believe it. You have to stop waiting for external validation to tell you that you're good enough. The world can be harsh. People will judge you, criticize you, and sometimes they won't even see you for who you truly are. But their perception does not define your worth. You were born with a unique set of qualities, experiences, and gifts that make you valuable. And until you recognize that, you'll keep searching for validation from places that will never satisfy you. True confidence comes from within. It's about knowing your worth, not based on the opinions of others, but based on your own understanding of who you are. When we talk about confidence, we often focus on external appearances, how we look, how we speak, how we perform. But true confidence has nothing to do with these superficial things. It comes from accepting who you are at your core. It comes from acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses that make you human. When you accept all parts of yourself, even the parts that aren't perfect, you free yourself from the need for validation. Think about the times in your life when you felt truly confident. Was it when you were praised, or when you felt aligned with your true self? When you felt at peace with who you are? It's when you can stand in your own power, knowing that you are worthy, regardless of any external measures of success. When you stop looking for permission to be confident. You start owning your own power. I know it's not easy. The world tells you that you need to be perfect, that you need to meet certain standards to be worthy, but you can't let those standards define you. The truth is, no one is perfect, and that's the beauty of being human. Our imperfections are what make us unique. They are what give us the depth to connect with others, to understand and empathize, to grow and learn. Today, I want you to challenge the belief that you need to prove yourself. Stop seeking approval from others. Start with the belief that you are enough, just as you are. No more waiting for the right moment, the right achievements, or the right accolades. The moment you believe you are worthy of confidence, you take back your power. You decide how you want to show up in the world. You decide how you want to live your life. And you decide that you are enough, right here, right now. Second truth is stop comparing yourself to others. One of the biggest roadblocks to building confidence is the constant comparison we make between ourselves and others. We live in a world where everything is visible, and social media only amplifies the feeling of inadequacy. We scroll through perfect photos, perfect lives, and perfect stories, and we begin to think, why can't I be like that? But here's the hard truth: you don't need to be like anyone else. Comparing yourself to others is a trap. It's a cycle that feeds into your insecurities, making you believe that you are less than what you truly are. When you compare, you're not looking at the bigger picture. You're comparing one small part of someone's life to the whole of yours. You might be comparing your struggle to someone else's success, or you might be looking at someone's highlights and forgetting that they have challenges too. What you see on the outside is never the full story. What you see on social media is curated, filtered, and often far from reality. So why are you comparing yourself to something that isn't even real? When you compare yourself to others, you are setting yourself up for failure. You are measuring your worth against standards that don't apply to your unique journey. Your life isn't theirs, your experiences aren't theirs, and your path isn't theirs. We all walk different roads, and that's what makes us who we are. The more you compare, the more you lose sight of your own purpose and the beauty in your own journey. It's not about how fast you get there or how glamorous your path looks. It's about walking your path at your own pace and staying true to who you are. Each person's success, journey, and achievements are the result of their own struggles, decisions, and timing. Just because someone else appears to be ahead doesn't mean they are better, and just because someone else has something you don't have doesn't mean you're missing out. Life isn't a race, it's a journey, your journey, and no one can walk it for you. The more you focus on others, the less energy you have to focus on what matters, your growth, your self-development, and your unique path to success. It's easy to feel envious of others, especially when they seem to have it all together, but envy only steals your peace. It prevents you from appreciating your own progress, however small it may seem. It makes you forget how far you've come and how many things you have already accomplished. Confidence is built on the recognition of your own growth. It's about acknowledging how much you've learned, how much you've achieved, and how much strength you've shown, even in the face of challenges. Instead of comparing, start focusing on what you can do today to make yourself better. What is one small thing you can do to improve your skills, to challenge yourself, to step out of your comfort zone? Confidence comes from taking action, from making progress. Not from looking at what others are doing and feeling behind. You are not behind, you are on your own journey, moving at your own pace, and that is more than enough. Comparing yourself also brings about unrealistic expectations. When you constantly look at others, you forget that they too have their own struggles, fears, and setbacks. Their success is a result of years of work. Their failures, their learning, and their persistence. No one's life is as perfect as it seems. Everyone has their own battles to fight, and everyone has had to overcome something to get to where they are. But it's not always obvious to the outside world, so why should you compare your behind the scenes to their highlights? The truth is, the only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Look at your own growth. Look at how far you've come, no matter how small the steps. Appreciate the progress you've made, and use it as fuel to keep moving forward. Compare yourself to your past self and see how much stronger, wiser, and more resilient you've become. That's the comparison that truly matters. And remember, comparison doesn't just steal your joy, it also robs you of your authenticity. When you try to be someone you're not, when you focus on mimicking someone else's life, you lose sight of your own identity. You forget the things that make you special, things that make you different. And it's in those differences that your confidence lies. Stop copying someone else's story and start living your own. Embrace who you are, flaws and all. Your uniqueness is your strength, and that's where true confidence is born. Third truth is you are allowed to fail. One of the greatest barriers to confidence is the fear of failure. We've been conditioned to view failure as something to avoid at all costs, as if it's a reflection of our worth or abilities. We've been told that failure is the opposite of success, and that it signifies weakness or incompetence. But let me tell you this, failure is not the enemy. In fact, failure is one of your greatest allies on the path to building real confidence. Think about it, every successful person has failed. Every person you admire, every person who seems to have it all together, has faced failure in some form. Failure isn't a sign of incompetence or inability. It's a sign that you are pushing boundaries, trying new things, and stepping out of your comfort zone. You're not failing because you're not good enough. You're failing because you're trying, and that is something to be proud of. When we fail, we often internalize it. We think that the failure means something is wrong with us. We believe that failure means we're not smart enough, talented enough, or capable enough. But that is a lie. Failure is just a stepping stone on the road to success. It's a necessary part of growth. When you fail, you learn what works and what doesn't. You learn what needs to change. You learn how to get back up and try again. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who failed, got up, and tried again with even more determination. When you're afraid to fail, you're also afraid to take risks. And when you're afraid to take risks, you limit your opportunities for growth. You stay in your comfort zone and nothing changes, but nothing grows in the comfort zone. Confidence comes from taking action, from stepping into the unknown, and from trusting that even if you fall, you can rise again. The more risks you take, the more you will fail, but the more you will also learn, and with every lesson learned, your confidence will grow. Failure teaches you resilience. It teaches you that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are part of the process. Life doesn't always go according to plan. Things don't always work out the way we expect, but how we respond to those setbacks is what truly matters. Do we give up, or do we pick ourselves up and keep moving forward? Confidence is not about being perfect or always getting it right. Confidence is about knowing that you can handle whatever life throws your way, no matter how many times you fail. Think about the times when you've tried something new or taken a risk and it didn't work out. How did you feel? Did you feel defeated? Or did you feel like you learned something valuable, something that would help you next time? The truth is, every time you fail, you're one step closer to success. Every time you fall, you're learning how to stand up stronger. And that is how confidence is built. We also need to stop defining ourselves by our failures. A failure does not define who you are. It's an event, not an identity. You are not a failure. You are a person who tried, who learned, and who grew. Your worth is not determined by a single failure or setback. It's determined by your ability to rise again, to keep going, to keep trying. And the more you fail and rise, the more confident you become in your ability to handle challenges, to navigate difficulties, and to succeed in the end. Stop being afraid of failure, embrace it, learn from it, let it guide you and shape you. Understand that you are allowed to fail. In fact, you must fail if you want to grow. Failure is not a reflection of your limitations. It is a sign that you are trying, that you are pushing yourself, and that you are on the path to something greater. When you give yourself permission to fail, you give yourself permission to succeed. The only true failure is never trying at all. And the only way to fail forward is to keep moving, no matter how many times you fall. Fourth truth is confidence comes with action. Confidence is not something that you can just wish for or hope to magically acquire one day. It is not a state of being that is given to you by external circumstances or by the approval of others. Confidence is built through action, through the things you do, the risks you take, and the steps you take, no matter how small, towards your goals. The more you act, the more you will believe in your ability to succeed, and that belief is the foundation of true confidence. So often we wait for the perfect moment or the right circumstances to take action. We tell ourselves, once I feel more confident, I'll go after that opportunity. Or once I know more, I'll put myself out there. But here's the reality. The confidence you seek won't come from waiting. It comes from doing. It comes from stepping into the unknown, even when you don't feel fully prepared. It comes from facing your fears and doing it anyway. Confidence is born out of doing the things that scare you, the things that make you nervous or uncomfortable. Every time you take action, no matter the outcome, you are building a reservoir of confidence that will carry you through future challenges. Take, for example, the first time you tried something new. Maybe it was public speaking, starting a new project, or even having a difficult conversation. In the beginning, you probably felt unsure, maybe even scared, but the more you practiced, the more you did it, the more confident you became. Why? Because action breeds confidence. The more you do something, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable, that you can handle it, and that you can keep going. Each time you take action, you are reinforcing the belief that you can figure things out, that you can succeed, and that you are worthy of achieving your goals. This is why confidence cannot be faked. You can't simply pretend to be confident until it happens. Confidence comes from experience. It comes from being willing to step out, to make mistakes, to try again, and to push through the discomfort. The more you act, the more you prove to yourself that you have what it takes, and this belief becomes a part of who you are. It becomes a part of your identity, and once it's ingrained in you, no external challenge can take it away. Inaction, on the other hand, only breeds self-doubt. When you avoid taking action, when you stay in your comfort zone, you reinforce the belief that you are incapable, that you are not ready, or that you are not good enough. You miss opportunities for growth, and you miss out on the chance to prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's easy to sit back and wait for the perfect time, but if you continue to wait for the perfect moment, you'll never move forward. Confidence is built through persistence, through trying again after failure, and through continuously pushing forward, even when the road ahead looks uncertain. This is why you must take action, even when you don't feel ready. The truth is, you will never feel 100% ready for anything. The perfect time will never come. It's easy to convince yourself that you'll act once you have more knowledge, once you feel more prepared, or once the situation improves. But the only way to build confidence is to act now, to do it even when you don't feel ready, even when you're not sure if you'll succeed, and even when you feel the fear creeping in. That's how you learn, that's how you grow, and that's how confidence is built. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. Every time you push through the fear and uncertainty, you are moving closer to your goals. It's important to remember that you don't need to take huge leaps to build confidence. Sometimes the smallest actions can have the biggest impact. Whether it's sending that email, speaking up in a meeting, or simply showing up even when you don't feel like it, those actions add up. Over time, they build your confidence, one small step at a time. And soon, you'll look back and realize how far you've come, all because you took action when it mattered most. So, don't wait, don't hold yourself back. Take the first step, no matter how uncertain or uncomfortable it feels. Act even when you're not sure of the outcome. The confidence you're seeking is already inside of you, waiting to be unlocked through action. And once you start moving, you'll realize that the confidence you seek is not something that comes from outside of you. It's something you create every day, through the things you do and the steps you take towards becoming the person you were always meant to be. Fifth truth is embrace the discomfort. One of the hardest truths about building confidence is that it requires you to step into discomfort. We live in a world where comfort is king. We're constantly seeking ways to avoid discomfort, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental. The idea of pushing ourselves beyond what feels comfortable is often met with resistance. But the truth is, if you want to grow and build true confidence, you have to embrace the discomfort. You have to be willing to put yourself in situations where you feel uneasy, uncertain, and vulnerable. Discomfort is a natural part of the growth process. It's how we know we're pushing boundaries, challenging ourselves, and moving towards something greater. Think about the times in your life when you've grown the most. Were they times when everything was easy? Or were they the moments when you had to stretch yourself beyond your limits, when you had to face your fears and push through the discomfort? The moments that shaped you, that helped you become stronger, more resilient, and more confident, were likely the moments when you were uncomfortable. This doesn't mean that discomfort is something to seek out for the sake of it, but it means that when discomfort arises, you should see it as an opportunity. An opportunity to learn, to grow, and to build confidence. Every time you face discomfort, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling more than you think. And with each experience, you build a new level of strength, resilience, and belief in yourself. Think about how your body responds when you exercise. When you push yourself harder, when you lift more weight or run that